Our goal today was to talk about sales pages.
Yes. Yep.
Now, I feel like I've kind of led you astray ever so slightly, only because although you're smirking at me,
No,
only
it's okay.
because, yes, let's talk about sales pages, but there's actually some pre-work we need to do before you actually start designing your sales page. So if you'll bear with me, I'm going to share my screen again. I put together a presentation just because it helps me to keep my thoughts organized. All right. So this can take us out of here. So you want to create a sales page. There you go. So there's actually two things we need to take care of before we actually start designing. And I do have best practices for the sales page design as well. If we have time to get to it today, we will. If we don't, we'll do that tomorrow. Before we sign up though, it's all fine and dandy to have a sales page, but you have to know how you're going to use it in order for it to actually be effective. I know that we've done the work to create and figure out who your ideal client is. Would you agree? Do you feel solid in your mind about, I know who I'm dealing with?
Yeah, I'm drawing in more and more people that I know I want to work with, that want to work with me, and that's been incredible. Just getting to know people personally and professionally, and yeah.
Good, good. Well, here's the thing. Creating a sales page takes time, money, and effort. It's kind of like putting the cart before the horse. If we go ahead and do the work of creating a sales page without knowing what we're going to do with it when it's done. There's also argument to be made that says doing this pre-work could actually change the content of your sales page, in the sense of, you may think you're going to put it at this stage of the process, so you're speaking to an audience in this place, when actually we ended up talking to them further along, which means that this message means nothing to them anywhere. Or imagine we inserted a conversion sales page before they've even had a chance to engage with you. They're not going to buy it. They don't have no like and trust. So we have to, this is why we want to figure these things out as well. And there's a fair amount of effort that needs to go into that. Okay, why is this not clicking? There we go. I think we know why we're using a sales page, so that's part of your strategy and who is your ideal client. But I always would like to say to somebody, really, don't waste your time and energy doing it if you don't know those two things. So I would take a pause right now and say, if you don't have those set up in your mind, we're not here yet. And that's why it's just you and me, Tiff. All right.
I really thought this would be a busy one today. Yeah.
I missed half of that.
Oh, I thought today would be more busy. More people
No,
would be building sales pages.
no, not on the sales pages. No, not on this part. You're the only one that's actually, so one other person will be including it, but they're not doing it just yet. So
Okay.
you're jumping the gun here, but they're not a product-based person, so they're not ready yet. Okay, so we know that you feel solid in your client. We know that we understand why we're doing a sales page, and you might think, great, now it's time, but it's not. We still have to make sure that we understand where our audience is. Make sure we know what it is that we're selling. What is your offer? Because it's all fine and dandy to say, well, I'm going to offer my coaching services. That's a big ask for a sales page. Where are you going to put them? The way a sales page normally works, as I think your own research probably showed you, is it's a gateway. So you have to have a gateway offer. You're not doing the big, $5,000 package on this typically. Could you? Sure you could. It's absolutely possible. But here's what I'm also going to say about that. Don't DIY that. Hire somebody. Hire somebody for that. Don't DIY for your $5,000 package. And I would highly recommend Kathy Topping. I'm just saying. She is who I'm going to be using. So
it's Kathy?
Kathy Topping is who I will be using. So I would highly recommend her. I have taken her courses on how to DIY your own. So that's where I've got my best practices. And I have done a couple of sales pages of my own, some with greater success than others. It's a learning process, right? This is the whole thing. It's a learning process. So where are they? You need to kind of have an understanding of where am I going. So now let's think about these groups. Will I be allowed to put up anything in those groups that directs people to my sales page? Will you be able to put in an external link? Probably not.
No, not usually.
Right. So where will we be finding the people? So we'll talk about that in a second. What am I selling? The offers. So some kind of either a loss leader or a freebie that you can offer. I have an example here. I wrote down. So it normally would be like a freebie and then a low ticket offer and then an add-on at regular price. And that's where you're getting your margin, right? So imagine you have an ebook and it's about overcoming fears. And then, so they're like, ooh, I want that ebook about overcoming fears. And perhaps you're even talking about, so let's name a huge fear. Summer's coming, it's about your fear of bees, right? Summer's coming, bee season is happening. And if you're anything like my man, they're literally like kind of fear. So it's this ebook about how to get rid of your fear in 5 easy steps. Sure, I'll take that ebook. Why not? Oh, while you're here, how would you feel about getting a self-hypnosis recording for $7? Only $7. Ooh, that could be really helpful. I heard that $7. But wait, before you go, you know, it's kind of like that old infomercial. That's what a sales page is. And if you act now, I'll throw in this beautiful set of Ginsu knives valued at $99.99.
Yeah. The clinical hypnotherapist that I work with, he does 3 in a row, and the price might build up $1 or 2, but by the time you're done, he's pretty much sold you almost full price, but the products are good.
Exactly.
You know, and then he's got you into a website with discounts, and you're hooked. Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah.
And don't forget as well, in the reading of all that you've written, when it's well crafted, when the copy is really good, and you've followed a good framework that's like taking a person through a mental process, you're building that know, like, and trust. So now you've got the freebie, and then you go the $7 self-hypnosis. It's just a general recording. It's not tailored to you. And you give them an option at that point. You can have this cheapy $7 generic $7 recording, or for only $147, you can have 2 EFT tapping sessions and a personalized self-hypnosis recording. So it's that layering. And how do you, and it has to be in that same, you know, tapping to get rid of the fear goes along with the personalized recording. Maybe your fear is not bees, or maybe you're afraid of bees and water. I don't know. I'm making things up here as I go.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But we want to make sure that we're building it. So we need to make sure that we understand what your offer is going to be that you're layering on, knowing that with the LifeWave, unless you're planning on keeping inventory or starting accounts for people, we're kind of a little bit unable to do the LifeWave itself as part of it. But what if you could give the health assessment for only, you know, it's a $300 value for only $19.97. And if you'd like a fully comprehensive assessment, it's $1,000.
I see where you're going with this. Okay.
So, and then that's the gateway, because anybody who says, yes, I'm interested in an assessment, They are now you're having the one-on-one, and now you're actually having the conversation to sell them. So it's not always about just jumping in and saying, hey, buy my $5,000 package, but it's the build up to it. You saw today, I saw that you tagged somebody and said, maybe the full program's not right for you, but maybe this one is. So same idea. It's that group offer that's literally, they get pre-recordings of these things that we do. That's what they get. Do you need to talk to somebody?
Little man, are your birds trying to escape, baby? Little guy? Is that okay? Because they're over there chirping like crazy. He's got little baby chicks that are just adorable, but they're over here just yelling up a storm, and I think they just want some attention.
Okay. Oh, sorry, my eye is so itchy. Okay. So I really want to make sure that we fully understand what are the 3 steps that you're going to offer before you start building a landing page. Know what you're selling. Where in the process are we introducing this? So on the next slide, I'm going to show you a couple of options. And then of course, how are people going to find it? Like, what are you going to, what kind of post are you going to put up? Where are you putting this in your bio? Are you going to do a Facebook paid ad and run that? We have to talk, and this is the thing, doing a sales page almost always means spending some money.
Yeah.
You can do the sales page itself as an inexpensive, hell, if you talk to Kathy, she'll say you can even do it as a Google Drive Word document. It's not that big a deal for that, from that perspective. It's not pretty and fancy, and you're not having somebody buy, click now to buy, or you are, and they're going to your Stripe checkout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be fancy, the page itself, but it's the how am I getting it out there? In order to put in the time, effort into it, you want to make sure that you're actually going to get something out of it. So it's kind of like, you don't have a website because who would you send there? You have a website through Lifeways, but you don't have your own website, like an authority website, like a landing page as an authority. Excuse me. You're not specifically trying to build an email list, but that should be part of this so that we can continue to nurture them down the road, right? So,
and it works because yeah. I've done the spreadsheet where I've gone back and tagged everybody after a week, like, how's it going? Can I throw you a different protocol? And it does work. It keeps them interested. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So we have to be able to figure out all these things before you actually sit down and start creating a sales page. And what we might discover at the end of it, Tiffany, is if you decide you are going to invest in a paid ad, I'm going to strongly suggest that you invest in a copywriter to write it. That's going to be my suggestion. However, let's go through the process first. So this is a funnel, like a sales funnel or a lead funnel. And as you know, people are going to start off as being completely unaware of you, your business, what you do, what you offer. They'll know literally nothing. Sometimes a sales page is used to create awareness. So if you are scrolling through Facebook, if I were to scroll through my newsfeed, every paid ad is some other coach offering a freebie on something that they think is going to be an important pain point for me, just because I'm in their demographic. And when you click on it, it takes you to a sales page where they're trying to sell you something, right? They're trying to get my interest. They don't know anything about me. We've never met before. We're not connected in any way, shape, or form. So if we can create a sales page that is highly engaging, speaks directly to the most important pain, and this is why we want to do a little bit more research about what are the things that people have tried. because having the research in place first is going to help us determine which of these three we do. So if what I was saying about if you're going to do it in here, this high cost intent is create awareness, and you combine it with a paid ad, absolutely hire a professional copywriter to create that. I do know two different people who are excellent. One of them is like a ClickFunnels whiz, but not a copywriter. The other one is a copywriter and ClickFunnels whiz. So I'd be more inclined to go with Kathy, like I said. So Phyllis is wonderful, and she's a tech and automation queen and understands ClickFunnels like nobody's business, but she's not a copywriter. So, and because of the unique positioning of yours in particular, Tiffany, I think that just makes it even more important that we get the right words around it. So unaware, sure, you can do a sales page there. You can even sell on it. But I think that you're probably not going to get a whole lot higher than maybe a $497 investment off of that sales page, because you don't have know, like, and trust established yet. And I may be exaggerating. Even with the $497, I'm thinking about my own self. I think the most I've ever spent off a sales page was $397. And that was, the overpromise, underdeliver of the century of a weight loss system. Diet, exercise, all of the above. So it really hit me in a strong pain point when I spent that. However, is that not what we're talking about with what you're offering? Chronic pain is a strong pain point.
Yeah.
And just because in the fibromyalgia group, people were saying they would only spend $500, perhaps the more high-end client just don't hang out in support groups.
I've thought of that too. There's probably other places, if they're spending that kind of money,
right,
that they would probably be in. Yeah.
Right. Yep. And so that's why I'm wondering, this can in itself be a form of market research by doing a paid ad. So we'll talk about that after. So then there's, of course, the time between being a lead and a prospect. And a lead is somebody who knows who you are, has seen your stuff, but hasn't yet actually had any interaction with you, or very little. And then the prospect is someone who's actually expressed interest, right? So you can put it in any of there. The two lowest costs are going to be the one that's here just before here, where they're finally expressing. This is designed to get them to express interest in the first place. This is designed to get them to engage with you in some way. Click on that link and follow your sales page lead. This one is, oh, I'm interested. This one is, I'm buying, right? Well, that's interesting. I'm going to start following you. I want to hear more about you. Yes, add me to your email list. You can't see my mouse anymore. Sorry. Yes, I want to know more about you. Add me to your email list. Maybe I will take your freebie. Perhaps I would like more information, right? Sometimes will buy an offer in this area as well. I would say that you would want to have some kind of paid offer in there, Tiffany, even if it is low cost, because you need to recoup the money that would spend on a copywriter and the ad itself. This one, lower cost. You could do this one yourself with a little bit of, wordsmithing help from somebody, right? And then this one you can absolutely do yourself, except that high converting copy, nothing like an expert. Nothing like an expert for that. But ClickFunnels in itself has really good tutorials and learning about how to actually turn it into a high converting one. So first thing we need to decide is where in your process. So we need to understand, I like to use flowcharts. Myself, I like flowcharts. You don't have to use a flowchart, but I like it because it helps me to understand. Give me 1 second here. Where did I put my flowchart? Flowchart. Do you know the symbols of a flow chart? Where did I put the symbols of a flow chart? I saved an image that has the symbols of a flow chart, you know, the long oval for the start or end of a process, you know, where you stop decision time. So decision needs to be made as a diamond, yes, no, and then the branch is off. I like that because it helps me to think through, have I thought of everything? You don't have to use that, obviously, but they can be useful. But what we really need to do is we need to sit down and we need to figure out, okay, from the very, very first point of contact, is the very, very first point of contact in a group. Where are you having your very, very first point of contact with any person who's a potential? What are all of the, and it could be 100 ways. Tell me all of them.
The two main ones are in the group, so it'll be commenting to my comment or a post. And the second one is direct messaging.
So somebody just randomly reaches out to you, or you just randomly reach out to somebody, some stranger on the internet. Hey, have you heard about my offer? And
actually, they reach out to me. They'll see that I made an interesting comment about a modality they haven't tried, or something that's a new developed tech and they want to try it.
Okay. So those are two different streams. So if I was doing it as a process, I would already have two different people who are, because the people who are reaching out to you are already warmer.
Yep, that's true.
So,
and it's kind of a 50-50 mix. It's literally kind of in 50% are reaching out to me, and I could honestly say the other half are just commenting, and then they're a little skeptical and they'd like more information.
Okay. So is the next thing, so you've made a comment. What's the next step? They reach out to you in DM?
Right, or they ask me to do that for them. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a reach out in DM. And then from there, is there a friend request?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually from me. Once in a while it's from someone else, but it's usually me.
Okay.
And that's like 90% of the time I friend request.
Okay. And I'm just trying to kind of capture the timeline, if you will. What are the major milestones in that timeline? So somebody, one way or another, somebody reached out off of a post. A friend request ensues. There are belief shifting posts that are happening on your wall, on your private or on your personal feed, your personal profile. You are making posts that they continue. So that's continuing to drip on them, drip on them.
Yeah.
And at this moment, so reach out to me. Yes, there was a yes, no there. Yes, no. Did they go ahead? Yes. Okay. No sales page. No. Okay. Maybe still a sales page. Friend request. It go ahead. No, go ahead. So yes, no. Belief shifting posts. Yes, no. Again, did they reach out? Were they interested? So after that, there's going to be, of course, there's going to be an offer post. So as we're saying about creating this sales page, I can see in that process, and from my mind, where it makes sense. Whoops. In some cases, the reach out to me, they reached out to me in DM and they want more information. In some cases, hell yes, send them the link to the sales page. Absolutely. From let me share you a link. This is going to give you a lot of information about what it is that I'm offering. And you can even make a purchase right there if you're called to do that. Why not? You could do it right there. So there's one right there. So, and that's going to be a convert, right? Convert on the spot. But why not use it as the, my gift, and please allow me to give you, I've got this link. You want to know more here? I'm going to give you a link. You get a free X. We'll figure out something free that they get as a result of it, some virtual downloadable freebie that they can do. Maybe it's I don't know, what could you do? Could you do some kind of a tracker, or
Are you thinking just for the whole package or pick up service or?
no, I'm thinking as your little free lead in. So the very first thing, so it's you've reached out to me, you want more information. Absolutely. Let me give you this link. You'll get lots of information here, right? And as well, my gift of is included, and you get lots of information. It's because here's the thing, in this beginning stage, when you've got all of the hours in the week to be having lengthy DM conversations, you're not thinking about this not being a sustainable model yet. When you're trying to continue to have 100 conversations with 100 new people every month, that can become really overwhelming to be repeating the exact same information. And that's the purpose of this. Go there, yep. Go there, right? It becomes it's the automatic step. Oh, so this is now replacing the DM. I get it. Right? So right now in this beginning stage, I understand you're trying to build some relationship. I get that. I would suggest that the better way to do it is they've reached out to you. Here's my sales page. Go and take a look at the information there. And any questions you've got, reach out to me. In a day or two, reach back out. Hey, have you had a chance to check that out? Did you have any questions? I know people tell me all the time I give too much information. I just want to check in and see if you've got any questions. That was literally the excuse I used to say to people all the time. Listen, I am really passionate about this, and people tell me that I have a tendency to give a little bit too much information. So I want to give you permission right up front to tell me to be quiet. That's what I used to say to people.
I've said that to people, and usually that engages them to want to learn more anyway. So.
Darn right it does. That's exactly the point.
Yeah, it does. It does. I discovered that already. Yeah, and I had some good conversations. So do you want me to do like two different pages, or like a link to?
I think it's the one page.
We'll talk
I think it's the one page. Because we're talking about when a person is a warmer lead, sending them this link when they're a warmer lead. We're not talking about this being an attract people to you. We're not talking about doing a paid one yet. We're saying, okay, people have already entered my world and are now having some sort of engagement. In this case, they've reached out, or you've reached out to them and said, hey, through a private message, you're now having engagement. So this now makes them a prospect, not just some random, right? So they're at that, this is a good time to start making a soft sell pitch. And that's really what the sales page is that soft sell pitch. So if we insert it in there, right? So that's one spot. So now what I've got is so reaching out in the DMs, here's an opportunity to convert. However, if they don't from there, then they're going to continue on down, and then there's this introduction post here. I think that's another opportunity. Oh, I said that word weird. I think that's another opportunity at the bottom in the introduction post to offer this same freebie that we have to come up with. So whether that freebie is
maybe it is the self-hypnosis for pain or pain management.
I was going to say, do you have a single, and it's like a totally generic?
Yeah, it's a generic binaural. You can sleep with it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's your freebie. Okay. I got to be honest with you. I wasn't thinking of that. I forgot you hypnotized when I picked that. There you go. So that's the freebie. And then the next one is that it's the what? Is it the health assessment, like the,
Yeah.
you know, is it the evaluation? Would you like to know more about the root causes in any we wouldn't call it comorbidities, coexisting,
Right.
maybe coexisting, people get that word. Any other things that coexist that maybe, we won't say exacerbating, making your symptoms worse,
Right.
right? So we want to take words like exacerbate and exsanguinate, and we take those out and we say make worse and bleed out. That's what we do. So
Okay. Okay, we simplify it down quite a bit more than what I've been doing. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we do. And the reason is, truly speaking, they say speak to your audience like they're in grade 5. I've always said, no, give them some credit and speak to them like they're in grade 8. But if you think about what we learn in grade 8 in terms of health, and because you are talking about health related things, our language hasn't fully evolved yet. We're still adjusting to some of the more icky words, right? And we stopped taking Latin in school decades ago, so we don't understand the root words anymore, right? Like even peri for perimenopause, we don't even understand what the peri part is, you know?
I've noticed that. I've noticed that. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's frustrating, especially when you are as intelligent as you are. It's very frustrating to be trying. And so I was always a person that spoke the way you do, and also didn't understand that way of speaking to people was actually, here I thought I was being so clear because I was using precisely the right word to describe it.
Yeah.
When in fact, precisely the right word to describe it was well beyond most people's capability with vocabulary. I was the child that read a page of the dictionary every single day.
Oh, I did too.
I had a phenomenal vocabulary, and I knew how to use words properly. And I understood all of the phonetic, you know how they have all of the phonetic, here's how you pronounce this. I understand how to read that crap, right? So most people are like, I don't know what it is. Why did they put that there? Exactly. So because of that, though, you have an extensive vocabulary that a lot of people just don't understand. And then you layer onto that your medical training, right? You've got a lot of medical terminology training that others just won't get. Hell, even say dorsal, and people don't realize that, you know, dorsal fin, they don't even know what a dorsal, which fin is that, Mary? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so we have to just try to dumb that down. And I don't like to use the word dumb it down because that's not what I mean. It implies a superiority, but we do want to bring it to a level where it's more easily absorbed by the people we're speaking with. And if you think about it, how many seconds do we have to make an impression? If they had to struggle through the first 5 words, they won't keep reading.
Yep.
So that's why. So I'm thinking that we do another opportunity to put that sales page whenever you do this intro post. Also, you're not doing a Facebook group. And honestly, I don't even see a need to do a Facebook page. I wouldn't bother. Okay. It's just extra work for you to try to manage it as well as.
Yeah.
So if we can use your personal page as your hub, we can then take your sales page link and no, I did that as a live in the group. So I was saying something. So I'm just going to share the screen again. Which one is it? This one. So personal page, right? Down here where it says intro, this area right here in your bio, we can put your help women reduce chronic pain by 70% in 6 weeks, should still fit in there, with a bit.ly link or a tiny URL or something like that to your sales page. So we get a shortened link, it should all fit in there. And then that's your primary link right there. So anytime anybody is coming to check you out, they click on that. You'd be amazed at how many people, as I'm sure you know yourself, you check out people's personal pages, but will actually come to yours, and how many will. I click on the links all the time. I go and visit people's websites. I go and see their groups. I can't be the only one. That just doesn't even make sense that I would be the only one, don't you think? So I'm thinking that we would put that there as well. And I would also say that you then in your posts say, for more information, click the link in my bio. Right? Mm-hmm. And then we could even put, I do think that we do need to start looking at creating, we'll do this next week with redesigning and doing all of your content, and because part of that content creation element of all of this was deciding on your colors and the branding, the style guide, that kind of thing. Yep. So in that period there, we'll also look at creating your banner. So you saw mine had the, you know, business empowerment coach with sunflower and everything, and it says, click here to join my group. When you click there, it's not actually going to take you to the group. It pops it up and shows you words, right? I'm sorry, did you already watch that live last week about optimizing your personal profile? No? Okay.
No.
No, that's okay. I just don't, if you already heard all of this, I don't want to tell you again, that's all. All right, oh, okay. So it says right here, join my free Facebook group, right? It says click here. So when you click it, all it does is bring up the picture. But over here in the caption, in the area, you've got you've got lots of space to put all kinds of stuff in there. You know what I mean? So I would say that once again, we do kind of a little bit of your intro post in here. Who am I and how do I help? Click here to learn more, right? Here's how I help. I offer this, this, and this. Click here to learn more. And it's here in this. So it's always on your banner as well. But the purpose of it is so that you don't have to keep putting your link, because remember, any links that take a user off of Facebook, Facebook goes, oh, strike, strike, strike. And each time you are responsible for putting up a link that takes a person off of Facebook, it's like a strike in your algorithm report card.
Oh, okay. So right? To get around that.
Further, yeah. Yes, exactly.
So is that still going to accumulate with them going to the link in the bio? That's or right. So it will do that. Okay. Oh, it shouldn't. Okay.
It shouldn't from there because you've only posted it once.
Okay.
It's not like your whole wall is filled with this link that's saying go, 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 go.
No, but if I'm going to put up the, what was it? I have so many notes now.
Sorry, me too. I just was going through my notes.
I know there's the sales page we talked about. I don't remember what it was now. Kind of like go here, like an offer post type thing. So in the offer post, I put the link. Now, do I do that just once in a while so it doesn't trip that algorithm, or?
You know what? If we have it in your bio and if we have it in your banner, I would not put it again in that post. I would say click the link in my bio.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Instead, yes. I would say that. Are we ever going to get you doing lives?
We talked about doing them at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it would be the same in that scenario as well. You know, to learn more, click the link in my bio, and you're just saying that out loud, rather than saying I'm going to drop the link down there. It's click the link in my bio. There. Okay. So that's two places we know for certain we can put this readily make this available. We know that you are not converting in those other groups. So the fact that you can't post in there is frankly irrelevant. Your whole deal in those groups is come into my circle, come into my circle, come into my circle. Oh, now you're in my circle. Now, I would say that we would also want to set some goals around how effective this is going to be. And then if it doesn't achieve that, what do we do to correct it for next time? So I think we also want to establish those kinds of things as well. So if, for example, we know you have 400 or 500 friends.
Yeah, 4 at least, I think.
So if we say that you've got 400 friends, okay, and you're going to put up an offer post, I didn't mean an offer post, forgive me. Hold off on this introduction post until we get the sales page completed and up.
Okay.
So if that means it's the end of the week or early next week, that's okay. Because our main goal is to launch your sales page with that introduction post, because that's when it makes sense. And we've got this new audience that specifically has been curated to be part of this niche, right? So I would say worthwhile to just hold off, right? And also we will make sure that I have I'm going to putting together an algorithm boosting group. And that algorithm boosting group is going to be people who are going to go in, like, and comment on your posts that you need some specific boosting on. And the idea behind them is, hey guys, you take a link to your post, you put it into this messenger group and say, can I please get some love on this post? An ideal answer says something to this effect.
Okay, that whole concept is really new.
Okay. So we gather what I would call 5 to 10 friends, right? A group of people that I'll put together. So it's not like you're doing this. You will be added into the group. You don't have to do any other work other than allow yourself to be added in initially. However, when you have an important post like this one, this introduction post, when you have an important post like a belief shifting post or an offer post, not just the everyday, please don't put every post in there. I'm part of one algorithm group that I'm actually about to leave because I'm just really, I follow you. I will see these posts. You don't need to put every single one in there. But anyway, so you put a link into this group and you say, hey guys, and you've got this group of 5 to 10 people who all have a social contract with one another, right? A verbal social contract that says, if I put a post in this group, the other people in this group are going to go and put some love on it in some way, which is going to help to boost my post up in the algorithm. In return, when they have a post that they need some special attention and love on, I'm going to do the same thing for them. And it's just like a little tiny little mini network of people that we've got that are just out there, just kind of thumbs upping for each other and helping to push that post up a little further in the ranks.
Yeah, don't they have groups specifically for this on Facebook? People have started.
Well, this isn't going to be a Facebook group. This is just I have posts on my personal page and I need some love on it. So it wouldn't be your group posts. It would be on your personal page to help you get your post in front of more people. That's its purpose.
Okay.
Because the more action a post gets, Facebook says, oh, you're popular. Let me show you to more people.
Yeah.
So this just is to help you get more popular. That's all. It's to elevate that particular post's status to a more popular status. And so Teresa would be one of them. Cheryl will be one of them. Amy will be one of them. I will be one of them. You will be one of them. There's 5. Perhaps, Denise, perhaps this other lady that you just said, maybe you'd be more like, as the group program, like as our hybrid grows, we add more until we have 10. I would stop at 10, and I will tell you why I would stop at 10 with any of these algorithm boosting groups. Any more than 10 and you will not get your work done, because all you will be doing is boosting other people's posts.
Right. I figured that. Yep. It'll just
And
get
then what,
too confusing for me anyway.
right.
Yeah.
And then what the, and then imagine, oh my goodness, heaven forbid, you get busy today and you didn't get the chance to comment on somebody else's post, but they loved on yours. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering about that. Yeah.
I've never worked well with other women. I'm working on it. Just because that's how all the women I've ever known, they're like that. I prefer working with men for that reason.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm about to change that. That's my purpose in the world, is to change that.
All
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Then we've established what is your lead journey. So what's the journey that they're taking as they go through? And we know that for the most part, the first contact you are having is actually in another group where a person has seen a comment that you've made or a post that you've made, and perhaps they've commented on your post. So that's the first thing. But it always seems to be a matter of, there's a DM. There's like this inevitable DM that's happening. I'm interested, tell me more, or hey, why don't I send you a message and let's talk more about this? Whichever way that's going, that's an opportunity. That DM, when they reach out to say, hey, I'd like a little bit more information. As soon as anytime somebody says to you, I'd like a little bit more information, absolutely, link to my sales page. Absolutely, I'd be delighted to share more information here. Why don't I share this with, I've got a link here. I'm going to share this with you. It's got all of the information, because they're writing to you in a DM. They obviously don't have a problem with reading it. They're not asking you for an appointment. So it's not unreasonable to think that to send them there, they'll read it. And a link coming out of your DMs is not the same no-no that a link coming out of Facebook is.
Yeah.
Right? So great. Now they go there, they might buy. If not, if you don't see or hear anything in the next 48 hours, you're going to follow up and say, hey, just checking in. I know it was a lot of information. Did you have any other questions? Right? Part of that's going to be an email list. You're going to continue to nurture on that. Okay, so there's going to be a friend request as well. They're going to be exposed to your content where you're giving education, you're shifting beliefs, you're doing all of that stuff. And then I'm going to say every 2 months, do you think? I think every 2 months, with the amount of people you're going to be trying to cycle through and adding in, every 2 months would be the time to do that intro post, unless you're getting more than 50 new people a week on your friends list. Why not do it weekly?
Okay. Okay.
The same way that I would do a welcome and introduction post in the group for new members, why wouldn't you say, hey, it's amazing how many friends I've got. And here I am, here's who I am, great. And there's the link, links in the bio if you'd like to know more, links in the bio, or I always look forward to receiving your DMs, or however you're going to say it, right? And then they're going to get an offer post. So at some point in there, we've had 1, 2, potentially 3 times that a person will have been given the opportunity to follow your sales lead page. If we assume that out of the combined 3 times that you put that out, 10% of your friends list, even if it's just sheer curiosity, sure, I'll check it out, I'm curious, what the hell is this? Even if that's the only reason, 10% will click each time you put out and talk about this opportunity to get more information, because you will have been teasing and being curious many times in between. So that means 40 people will click the link is the expectation. 40 people click the link. I would say, because it's a free self-hypnosis that you're offering, I'm going to say 95% are going to at least take the freebie.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 95% will take the freebie. What do you think the next offer should be? That you are going to offer some kind of a health assessment or a pain assessment, right? So a pain assessment, and what would you think? Do you think yeah, how about $99 or $97 for that?
I was guessing right around 100, so that would
Okay,
be
perfect.
good. Yeah.
So buyer psychology, even if you made it $99.99, it's not 100.
I know.
They
I know.
still see it as being below the 3 digits. It's ridiculous.
It's strange, but that works. Yeah.
It's a crazy little thing. So if we then, so somewhere at the $100 mark, so you would do a health assessment. So for only $100, you get a personalized, so you get a personalized health assessment and care plan. And care plan recommendation, you'll give a care plan recommendation?
Yeah, I can do that. Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
so I would think, really, the whole point of giving the care plan recommendation is so that you can say, so I would recommend that you do ABC. So I think that you need to do a nutrigenic
generate a report for that. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
So I think that we need to do a nutrigenic study. I think we need to do this. I really think that the phototherapy is going to be a great alternative. What's phototherapy? Well, let me explain phototherapy to you. Right. So really, this is your opportunity to get somebody in front of you to sell them more. That's really what it's about. This is meant to drive leads into your funnel that are primed and ready to buy from you. So by giving them the freebie of the self-hypnosis and then offering them the health assessment for $99 along with the personalized care plan, you can then recommend any and all of your services. If you don't think that somebody would benefit from your full package, don't sell it to them. You have integrity. Right. If you don't think they need it, don't do it. You know what I mean?
Well, people have asked me that. They said, a couple people who have signed up for the patches have asked, okay, if you do this, supplement assessment or a report or whatever, can you just tell me what I need for that? Can you sell me just supplements? I do have a couple people waiting on that information too. And that's perfect. And then I just thought, well, what kind of little packet, what can I put together for each one so I can price it if they just want. Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So you've got the freebie that's the self-hypnosis for pain management, but it's a generic one. Wait before you go. Would you like a personalized health assessment? What, and in the sales page, what are we going to uncover in that? What could we potentially find in that? And then with a personalized care plan, and what does that entail? That's a 30-minute session with you and I sitting down together where we go over your results and I make my professional recommendation. Please use the words professional recommendation. And then I make my professional recommendation to you. It's a credential, it's a subtle, subliminal credentializing thing to say. My professional recommendation is that you should start with phototherapy. Well, what is that? Explain a little bit more. It's a non-invasive and it's a patch and it uses light and the
it's funny. There's all these little things, and my son was asking me the other day. He says maybe you should put up a store because there's all these things to sell. But of course, I've never done that either. But
that is a very, very, very large undertaking. Having done it myself, it took me 7 months to get my store done, and that was just an e-commerce store without doing all the other stuff. So just so you know, that's a huge, huge undertaking to do that. Care plan, do this, this, this. And in that, you're offering one of your professional health specialist, your holistic health specialist packages. Now, that being said, you can have levels. I would not suggest having more than 2 levels, but you can have levels of support that you offer. You could, for example, have a $1,000 package that gives 1 session or 2 sessions, whatever you think, 1 or 2 sessions, plus your first month of patches. Like you could have an entry level and then you could have an advanced. There's no reason not to have a basic and an advanced.
I have had people ask me that too. Yep.
Absolutely. But you have to see, I can give ideas and thoughts and suggestions, but at the end of the day, it's not my business. And I'm not your boss. I work for you. So I'm like an idea generator. And ultimately, you have to decide what you think is best, right? Based on your pricing models, based on your income goals. If you did do a $1,000 package, and it was only 2 people, if you think that through logically, okay, so it's a little bit more work in the lead generating, but you are generating good leads. Your problem is not about getting interest at the moment. Your problem is about how do I take that interest and turn it into somebody who'll pay me?
Right.
Right.
And what do they really, what package would suit them? What do they really, can they afford it? Can they, yeah.
You don't worry about whether they can afford it. Do not sell out of your own bank account. Let them make that decision for themselves. And this is the hardest thing for anybody who's selling anything. What they can afford is not your concern because you have no idea what it's worth to them. You have no idea what their priorities are and what their values are. Perhaps health is their absolute top priority over everything else. And in that case, it means that they would be willing to pay anything. It means that they would be willing to not make their car payment in order to have the health. They'd give up the car to have the health. They'd give up the, daily, what's a coffee shop in the Dunkin' Donuts? They'll give up their daily Dunkin' Donuts to have good health. You know what I mean? So they'll divert money from one to another. Oh my gosh, I had millionaires tell me that they were completely broke. And it was because they didn't want to treat their hearing. So where is their desire and where is this in a priority for them? This is why I'm cautioning, please don't sell out of your own bank account and don't worry about, they will exclude themselves if they can't afford it. Yep. It's not your job to be affordable. And I mean that and say that with great love and hopefully kindness. Your job is to earn what you deserve. You are putting a great deal of care, time, and energy. How many years did it take you to amass all of this knowledge and expertise? If they wanted what you have to offer, they could certainly go and get it themselves. And it would take them 25 to 30 years as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So you are decreasing. If we look at the value equation, right? Dream outcome, right? And then down here is time and effort, right? So dream outcome times return, right? And then divide by those things. You're reducing the amount of time and you're reducing the amount of effort. Holy cow, that drives your value up like through the roof. So I don't want you to undervalue yourself and say, oh, well, it's my job to be affordable to people. No, my friend, not at all. Not at all. They're quite content, as they've told you. They've told you they're very content to continue to just get over-the-counter medications or to go on government subsidies because they are not, it's not a high enough priority for them. The ones that it's a high priority for who can afford it, they'll come. They're there, they're just not necessarily speaking up yet. So that poll will hopefully draw them out a little bit more as well. And we'll keep brainstorming about where you find them. But percentages. 400 friends, 40 of them will click the link, 95% will take the freebie, and I'm thinking 10% are going to act on the first offer and take it. So I have a 10% rule. I always say just everything is a 10% unless it's couponing, and then it's a 1%. But a 10% return, if we are not getting a minimum 10% return on investment, experts would say we're wasting our time.
I've heard that. So do you think it would be beneficial to maybe just lead with an intro offer, as far as, and we got the freebie and everything,
Sure.
but maybe a smaller package, and then if they want to add on all the other support for 6 weeks and
yeah. And so this is it.
Okay.
So this is why the intro is, okay, so here's your free self-hypnosis, but wait before you go. Would you like to do the health evaluation or health assessment? I think we agreed was a better word, assessment, for $99, I'm picking a number. Okay. Or would you rather have a full with education, etc., for $999? Yes, that's a huge jump. 99 to 999 is a huge jump. Our purpose is not specifically to close that. It's to A, make the 99 more attractive, and B, make some people go, oh, I'd like to learn more, but I'm not going to buy it from this ad, but I sure would like to know more about it. So now you have conversations with people where you can convert them.
Yeah.
So it's still a 3-tiered offer, but we know that most people won't take the top one. We believe most people will take the bottom one, and we're hoping a percentage of people will take the middle. And getting that $100 is just to create some cash flow. That's all it's for, is just to create some cash flow. You will be dedicating some time out of your life to look at the results, come up with a decision about what you're going to say. Just know this, you will always be suggesting the patches. So have a ready in your mind, have a ready. You've got this little piece of paper maybe that you write up, and it says, okay, so here's phototherapy, and these are the things that you need, and that means it's this much investment. And then when people say, oh, it's only a $375 investment for this pain treatment, therapy, whatever we call it.
Now that'll be something I can introduce when they want to know more in their health assessment?
That's right. So when you're actually having the conversation with them, it's part of the here's my professional recommendation.
Okay, guys, so that is the thought process of deciding whether or not you want to create a sales page for your business, and some of the ways of actually working through the logic of where will I put this, where makes sense, what's the point of my sales page, am I trying to generate leads, am I trying to sell something directly, am I trying to book appointments. All of these things will be important to knowing as you decide where you're going to insert the use of your sales page. Building a sales page itself is easy, but don't waste your time if you're not actually going to use it. And your goal will be to create a 10% return on investment. So that could be an investment of time and money as well as energy. So if you're creating it yourself from scratch and writing all of the copy and everything else, it's a lot lower cost than if you are hiring a copywriter. But here's the thing, just as a best practice, if you are trying to actually create a conversion sales page, I strongly recommend hiring an expert to help you create the copy that converts, because we're talking about people who this is their business, right? So a person like Kathy Topping, a person like a Debbie Starr, a person like an Asme Barish, any of those kinds of people who specialize in creating sales pages, speak to someone like that. This is what they do. They have the best practices. They have the team to do it, whatever the case is, but they have the highest likelihood of getting that return on investment for you. So really do strongly consider hiring a professional to write the copy. If you have any additional questions about whether or not your plans for a sales page make sense, please reach out to me via the DM. And if, of course, you'd like to book a one-on-one with me, if you're part of the Consistent Income Hybrid program, we'll discuss this in your one-on-one. If you're not part of that, hybrid program, if you're taking advantage of one of the other membership options, you always have the option to reach out to me and book a one-on-one at a reduced rate. All right, thanks so much. I hope you found this helpful, and I look forward to seeing your sales pages. Please do send me links. Bye, guys.